This wave of Sahajism that Śrīla Mahārāja warned you about is now fully manifested. There's Bhakti Fest West, Shakti Fest, and more of these gatherings becoming increasingly more popular with
there's also the Poland Woodstock.
As your disciples, what is our duty or responsibility to defend the real wealth that has been given by our guardians?
Well, practice what you preach. That's the first thing. You don't have a responsibility outside just following, learning to do it right and do it right. The onus may fall to you in the future, that now it's your turn, it's your responsibility. So, and all this kind of preaching, I do all the fighting, and the rest of you are doing the learning. But then the question is, are you? Are you reading the books that I wrote? And are you learning what's in there? Not the memory. I can't even repeat everything that's in those books. That's why it's in the books. It was in other books and put into this. That's a lot, hundreds and hundreds of pages of history and right philosophy and so many things. You have to read it. You have to study it. I've read the Nectar Devotion, 50 times. I just read it every day for 20 years. How many times you read it? Just read it. But we were told you should read it 7 times cover to cover. How many times have you read it cover to cover? Maybe not even once. So, that's what you can do. Take advantage of what's been given to you. Just like in the time, and that, of course, that includes Prabhupada's books, Śrīla Mahārāja's books, Śrīla Mahārāja's books, and all this stuff that we've written and books that we have by the other sannyasis also. It's just like, you lay bare what any institution has, and we have more on the spiritual side than any other institution in the world. Most institutions have a couple of sannyasis who never write nothing. They just lean back to the books of the previous acharyas, and a lot of times then they're reading unauthorized books, just all types of things. So we have a very good stock of guiding material. And so you have to take advantage of it. That's the first step, and that's the best step. Other steps, what any individual can do, you'll be asked to do, or Krishna will reveal what to do. If we're in the right mood of surrender, it's like, who tells me what to do? Don't think I hear some voice. Sometimes I wish. Tell me what to do. But it comes by inspiration. It comes by inspiration. Well, somebody will say, well, all these other people are enthused, and you're saying so many of these things, or all these things, are deviations, and they're off. I said, yes. Because that inspiration should coincide with previous acharyas, shastra, sadhus, and should enthuse the Vaishnava community. Not bewilder them and just make them distressed and thrown into a fit of anxiety. It used to be, wherever you went in the world, you went to Hare Krishna temple, you asked a question, you went to LA, got on a check, where you went, you got the same answer. Now, you wonder, did I even get an answer? That sounded like a lot of smoke screen out there, a lot of inadequacy. And then angry because you asked the question. That is a symptom of the person who's supposed to give the answer doesn't have the answer. Like at the bank, when you want your money, they close the door because they don't have your money. It's gone. Only a fool gives his money to the bank. Brainwashed people. Brainwashed society we live in. What do you give your money to a bank for? Think about it. Who are these people? Why do you give their money? But people think, no, we can't function without banks. We can't function. The world can't function. No, it's true. In the demoniac way the world is going, it can't function without banks. Therefore, the banks, starting with, what do they call them? Independently owned Federal Reserve banks. It's just a control system, controlling the people through money, through false financing and all these things. Anyway, okay, is that okay?
It's mentioned in the Padma Purana.
Who's this?
Oh, this is Gogopal. It's mentioned.
Nāma-aparādha.
Yeah. And the writings of Bhaktivinoda. The remedy for nāma-aparādha is hari-nāma. Means carry on chanting nāma-aparādha. But Jagannananda Pandit also says that one can chant for millions of births and still get no benefit. So how can we understand this?
Yeah, it's just like you take the medicine, but you take the medicine in the right way. You take the medicine for any disease, and then you take the food at the same time, which is causing that disease. Well, what do you expect to happen? Nothing of, just like I got this boil on my neck. It started to come up so hot in Vrindavan. I got this boil popping up on my neck. And so one thing, tea tree oil and no sugar. Not like take the medicine and then gobble the bowls of sweet rice and big plates of mangoes and chutney and all this stuff and just heating up the system and then putting the medicine. It's just no. Follow the diet, put the medicine, practically things disappearing as I look at it so fast. The medicine just, powerful medicine works fast. But if you're doing the wrong thing, people are trying to, somebody was telling me about one friend in Vrindavan and his wife cooks a special, healthy food for him, but he stops at all his friends and has some fried budgies and some pakoras and samosas and puris and deep fried and some sweets and rasgulas and rasmalai. By the time he gets home, he goes, "No, dear, I'm not that hungry." His belly is huge now, huge. And then he got diagnosed with blood pressure up, got diabetes now, all this stuff. Oh, then give me a pill, give me a pill. The world wants a pill. No. That's not the way it works. Let me do my nonsense. Like diabetics want to just eat anything and take an injection. Take an injection. That's not the way the world's been designed. There are problems and there are remedies to problems. So we follow and we'll see some proper results. If there are no results, then we're doing something wrong. And a good topic coming up will be attention. How to become free from all the offenses. How to rid the heart of all the anarthas by paying attention when you chant the holy name. The most important part of it is to pay attention. Because you can avoid the 10 offenses. Just don't blaspheme anybody. Just don't think the demigods are equal to Krishna, this, that, and the other. Come on, it's not hard to avoid the 10 offenses. But what's difficult is pay attention. And if we're not paying attention, then the name is not taking effect. So there, one can chant for many lifetimes, not paying attention, committing the wrong offenses, or following the wrong conception in one's ideal. That highest aspiration is not a reality. That will not bring out any good result. However, it's just like, and not just like, but the situation is, we're making offenses while we're chanting, but chanting is our only. We're being defeated on the battlefield. Well, then fight harder, because there are no other options. Defeat means defeat, and success is just the opposite. So you're being defeated on the front. Fight harder, chant more sincerely. Try to give yourself to the chanting. But what really helps in that is association and service, for sure. See about your service. How much actual service do you have in the day? I know everybody's here probably count up about 28 hours worth. It's like, can we get some help? A few more people, Krishna? Some helpers here? Some Lord's servants. But anyway, seeing that big temple in Vrindavan ought to be a mess, but nobody gets it. Yeah, we're doing this so big. And I told these devotees, yeah, you're going to build your big temple in Mayapur, and then the Rtviks are going to come in and build one 10 feet bigger. What's the meaning of big? What does it mean? And I'm trying to get them to Adbhuta means big. The Yogapith temple, which is the Adbhuta Mandir, is so big. There are a million churches in the world that big and bigger. It's not big. It might look big. It was the only building out there on those rice fields. But it's certainly not big by world standards, by any means. By any means. Right? But what's Adbhuta about it? The conception is what is Adbhuta. Adbhuta means wonderful. It's not just the building. If so, there's so many buildings that look more wonderful than the one at the Yogapith. And they're going to look more wonderful than the Victoria Memorial being built down the road, you know, with the pizza loo in front of it. You know, then what they call that thing in Paris?
Oh, the Louvre. Louvre.
The Louvre.
The Louvre. So the temple's got a Louvre in front of it, which is actually a Domino's Pizza Hut or something. So this is not, that is truly Adbhuta in the sense of, in the sense of what's Yudhisthira at, not Yudhisthira, Bhishmadev asked Yudhisthira, what is the most wonderful thing in this world? What is the most Adbhuta thing? And he didn't say that they're building this temple in Mayapur. Nowadays he might say that, you know, that they're building this temple, but they don't understand. They have the wrong deities, the wrong conception. It's not about signs. And I think the Mayavadis, Hindu Vadis, you know, with Akshardham and all this stuff in Gujarat, they're, you know, hundreds of acres of theme parks and huge temples. Temples made of gold in South India. 4 tons of gold smeared over. If you go there on the way to Chennai sometime and go on the way, you walk on gold, everything you touch is gold and not gold paint. 4 tons of real gold was smeared over that temple. It's a Lakshmi temple. And it's set up, you walk around, Sat Kona, it's got Vedic theme and all this stuff. Opulence, wow. Hindus love it. No knowledge, no proper Gita understanding, Atmagyan, nothing. So this stuff is happening all over, but yet, the movement on a whole is still focused on big is best. Whether it's big hari-nāma, big prasad, it has to be big. And the quality is a thing of no concern. And then everybody wants to go to the higher thing. They want the ras, they want the juice, you know, they want to go there. But they haven't traversed the lower plane. How they'll stand in the higher plane? They got no status. They have no standing. What's your qualification to be up here? And reading what you're reading or talking what you're talking. It's just so shameful. And to get it, you have to go outside. You have to go to other camps. And literally in Vrindavan, there's this one devotee there. He's a guru, he's a GBC of Vrindavan. And almost daily, up to 100 of his disciples go to some Baba there in Ramareti who's giving Rasalila Katha. But what did they understand? None. Hundreds of them. I don't know if it's really 100, but that's the number that I was told. They say, yeah, every day. You know, big thing reported to this, that, the other. I'm just laughing. Their biggest now concern, really concern is women gurus. And should women be called Prabhu or should they be called Mata? You know, and it's this thing, it's just tearing them apart, and the leaders are just getting their whiskers pulled out, you know, by the feminist movement. You know, Vaishnavism has nothing to do with feminism or non-feminism. It's not a guiding thing that we, you know. So they wanted to be called Prabhu. But Giri pointed out, Prabhu is a masculine word. The feminine word for Prabhu is Prabhi. Prabhi. So they're saying, call me Prabhu, and it's actually revealing because these women want to be men. It has nothing to do with just be what you are. What God created you, you didn't make a mistake. Be what you are. Don't try to be the man. And the men, they're trying to feminize all over the world, the men. Feminize them so they become more like women, the women. And more easy to control, less reactive. It's just a twisted world. A twisted world we live in. And the Vaiṣṇavīs, they're getting sucked into this thing. Call me Prabhu. I wrote back and said, anybody who wants to be called Master or Lord should be rejected. Call me Lord. Bye, Lord. Why? Where? What is there amongst the Vaiṣṇavīs? There have been many great Vaiṣṇavīs in the world. And they don't clamor to be guru. They don't clamor to be called something special. Look, anybody figured it out? Men become dumb just looking at the shape of a woman. Just the shape of the shadow of a woman can make a man lose his senses. Women don't have that effect. They look at the shape of a man and they're more interested in the shape of a woman than they are the shape of a man. Why is that? Because the form of a woman has the Maya Shakti of Krishna. Otherwise, there'd be no mating calls. What is the mating thing of human? Is there a smell? Animals, there's a smell. When the female is, and they call it heat or whatever, there's a smell. The deer, the animals. So the humans, what is it? No, it doesn't work like the animals. We're not animals. It works on a higher level of attraction, of sentiment, of sensual attraction. Not just some full animal instinct. So, as Śrīla Narasiṅgha said, there's nothing wrong with women. It's how men think about them that's wrong. Understand? So the women have to be aware of it. That they have a certain God-given attraction that makes men lose their intelligence. And therefore, the society is arranged with some semblance of order, and not just this pre-mixing. They say, oh yeah, you should love the person you marry, all this. I don't know why there's so many divorces. Why is 7 out of 10 marriages back in there for a divorce? And why some people got to go for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marriages before they settle down? Something wrong with love? Maybe. Maybe that's not real love. Maybe real love comes later. It's just not this youthful attraction. So in Krishna, this has to be clear. There is not a stigma against women. It is the fact of society and the potency that women have, and the good they can do in society. Whoa. Without mothers, where is the world? Well, without proper mothering, all men turn out to be twisted, according to Freud and other psychologists. Mothering is one of the biggest steps in creating a stable society. So you don't find Vishnu Priya, you didn't find these devotees, Krishna Moyini, these great Vaiṣṇavīs of the modern time that we know of, Pishima, Prabhupada's sister, and all these people. You don't hear them say, we want to be guru, we should have some women gurus. Why? It's like, you say we need more gurus, but why you say we need women gurus? We don't say we need men gurus, women gurus. It's not you understand what I'm saying? But this is their sound. They want to be called Prabhu, want to be gurus. Some of them want to be sannyasis. That's like you wanting to be a mother. I'll do some hormone injections. Good luck. I'll do some beauty makeup, little Botox here and there, a little tuck and roll. Little Tijuana tuck and roll.
It's coming, brother.
And then you'll be a woman. There'll be a problem.
Also, especially in this ashram.
Especially with size feet like that. You'll never find a partner. Sasquatch. Run an ad in the newspaper. Looking for Mrs. Sasquatch. Boy, edit that.
Yeah.
Edit that.
Having said that, Dilita Master's question is, ladies are not fit to take sannyas. How can they make advancement after a certain stage? Do they have to come back as male Vaishnava?
No, absolutely not. And what does that mean? They're not taking sannyas. Well, because of the nature of everything that comes along with being. Hardship does not improve the heart of a woman. Hardship. Austerity. Up there in Vrindavan, there are all these women, not many of them. There's a bunch of these Western women, and you can always tell them when they come around Radha Damodar because they look like ghosts. They look like the most unhappy creatures in God's kingdom. They're wearing white, and they're trying to do the 64 rounds a day, the big tapasya, you see. But women aren't meant for tapasya. At Kumbh Mela, I've seen the yogini tapasis, and they are the most undynamic and zero potent group of people in the whole of Kumbh Mela. You see them up on this Rath cart, they're all, there's no makeup, there's no earrings, there's no nice dress, there's no nothing, and they all look, they look like miserable. Women are not for tapasya, that type of tapasya, okay? So they're not for sannyas. Sannyas is for going out and fighting against Maya. Not only were women not for sannyasi, were also not for the battlefield. No, buckle up, Johnny, you're headed to war. Here's a spear and a sword. Hope you come home alive, or at least with one of your arms. Women weren't asked to do that either. Now women want to go to battlefields. They want to shoot 50 caliber machine guns. Everything's just a humbo jumbo. And it's not proving to be good in society. The generations of children coming forward, a little more tweaky every generation. They're not breastfeed, they're bottle feed. In Mexico, they feed the kid Coca-Cola out of a bottle. What's that doing to the kid's health? It's all this unnatural. So the unnatural going to produce some unnatural. It's already there. There's no one. If we're in Krishna consciousness, then if I wanted to say anything, I'd say, call me Das. Please call me Das. That would be more in the flow of proper. And you address others as Prabhu. Now, there might be the feminine way of Prabhu. But here goes Prabhu. We didn't always say in the kitchen in L.A., oh, Mata, oh, Mataji, oh, Prabhu, oh, Prabhuji. What did it matter? You're calling the person. Or maybe even their name. Yogamaya. Don't call me Yogamaya. Call me Prabhu. It's just like, okay. Take it easy now. You'll be okay. I want to be. Oh, I want to be. Anybody who wants to be guru should not be guru. It's not a selection of your choice. It's not how it works. So gay and lesbian marriages, another big important thing. You got to get on the list, So I said, hey, women gurus now, gay gurus later, transvestites. What are you going to do about the transvestites? It's a growing community. I guess you'll need a transvestite guru. It's just like, guru is about knowing the truth. And I recently told some people in Vrindavan that there are no real gurus in Iskcon. They're all covered Rtviks. By the true sense of the word guru tattva, there are none. They all submit to a higher authority. And it's not Krishna. It's a governing body. So they represent an institution, not Krishna. And there's a difference. And that's why they can't get rid of the Rtviks. And that's why they can't get rid of anything. Previously, they used to get rid of it, grab it by the neck and the seat of the pants, and whoop, out the door you went. Maybe a few gunshots over your head so you don't come back. Well, they've lost that potency also. They don't even have that potency anymore. So all these things, these deviations, now they're sprouting inside the movement. Complete, just unbelievable. And I look at it, and there's all these people who want to change it, and I go, I don't know about changing it. I think it's the result. I don't want to change it. And I went and I spoke to their GBC, or a GBC guru, and I said, you want to change it? Leave. Come out here and fight for the truth. There's no change in nothing inside there. You compromise, and you'll be dead before you can change anything. And I offered them, let's join hands, let's join missions in Mexico and make a noise. Mexico is ripe for Krishna consciousness, and all they're saying is, wow, these Mexicans are always fighting. Well, maybe because you're not giving them the truth. That's why they're not satisfied. They're fighting with each other all the time. And I go, that's not my experience in Mexico. In any social environment, you have some, social friction is always there, but that they're always fighting with each other and all this stuff. I don't experience that in Mexico, but that's what they said it was like, not only there, but all over the Latin zones. He mentioned Costa Rica, a few other countries. It's just like, what's wrong is the leadership. The leadership isn't fulfilling the obligation of his position. Therefore, the jiva on the reciprocal end is not satisfied, is an anxiety, is in another plane. They're not being lifted out of their mind. And the preaching that goes into their ear is all this society consciousness stuff. The society. It's like, no, that's a problem. We got a lot of monkeys out there today. All right. Another symptom of Vrindavan we have here. We have monkeys, we have peacocks, we have the green parrots. We have a number of trees. We should try to get a Sham Tamal tree here, though.
No.
That would be very nice, Sham Tamal. Maybe right over there on that bank. Maybe somewhere.
This was my question. We understand that hari-nāma is complete and everything is there. Simultaneously, we say that second initiation, Gayatri, is the real initiation, although Śrīla Prabhupada also said it was not necessary for everybody.
Well, see, that is written that Gayatri is the, who has got dīkṣā, mantra dīkṣā. This is written before the advent of the Sankirtan movement. So that, who has got this dīkṣā mantra, that is Padma-purana or somewhere, that is a Vaiṣṇava who has got these mantras. Of course, there are other qualifications. That's just like the most extended, but if you don't have the mantras, what's. But with the advent of the holy name in Kali Yuga, it's something a little different. And the Gayatri mantras are there to assist us in the development of our conception. So they are to be chanted with great attention. Without giving attention to your chanting, then you don't get the benefit. But it is not necessary either in Kali Yuga to have dīkṣā mantra. Depends on what you're going to do. Deity worship? Definitely. Big study of Shastra, preacher, sannyasi, like that. Definitely. It's part of the process. It's just like when you first ride a bicycle, you have these trainer wheels in the back. You ever seen that? These little wheels in the back. So if you go over, the wheel hits. Trainer wheels, but then the trainer wheels. So we continue, but what is the word? Efficacy or what's efficacy of the mantra is retired. It has full force in the beginning, and it's helping the chanting of the holy name. But when the holy name is progressive, then the mantra comes back and just kind of sits there and idle. We go on chanting, but it's no longer as effective as it was. So to say, it's there. But it's not necessary for everyone to take second initiation. Now, Śrīla Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta started second initiation. That's a whole other thing. It had nothing to do with Upanayana. It had to do with these other things. So if you want to know all about that, read the Parampara. There's a lot of detail here. There's combining Upanayana, combining dīkṣā and the holy name. 3 classes of mantras. Upanayana, the other Gayatris, known as dīkṣā mantras. And what did you say the other one?
Holy name.
The holy name. The holy name. Conception. Very important.
Yogamaya's question. The jivas have free will, and that free will produces our karma, and Krishna is not involved in that individual action. At the same time, it is said that not even a blade of grass moves without the will of Krishna. So how do we understand and harmonize this point?
Well, yeah, good point. Say it again.
The jivas have free will, and that free will produces karma. Krishna's not involved in that karma.
Well, that free will, first off, the free will, if it's misused, it produces karma. But if your free will is not misused, you don't produce karma. You got up this morning, and up to now, you haven't made any karma. You haven't produced any karma here. It's not karmic to come and listen here. It's not karmic to go there. It's not karmic to take prasadam. And pretty much your even your separate endeavor, which is Ananda 108, is actually so you can be in the ashram. So it takes a load off my head. I don't have to support you. The ashram doesn't support you. So you householders try to support their end of it. Swamis support their end of it. People support their end of it. Everybody does what they can to pull the thing together. So you're not making karma in that. But let's say you leave, you're living outside, okay, then you just have your business and your life. Well, out there, the possibility of committing karma, making karma is very possible. You work at a job. And then it's the world. It's the world. But here, this isn't the world. This is called a devasam. It's a sanctified holy place, a temple, a mandir, a dham, a tirtha. There are different kshetras, there are different names for qualifying the place where you're living with Krishna. Here, we're living with Krishna. Everything here belongs to Krishna. Everything here is for the service of Krishna. And if we're in that mentality, then things will be very harmonious here. But if we have a separatist mentality, and that can even be too much worrying about your maintenance. If it becomes too much, then you'll find that it will be an abrasion to your service, you know? So it's just not an automatic thing, oh, I'm going to join an ashram, live happily ever after. Running ashrams is no easy task. Not an easy task. The way we have to do things. What we can do, what we can't do. Even to sell something, what we can sell, what we can't sell, you know. Somebody on the internet was questioning, what's the vastu of a liquor shop? Everybody wants vastu so that business will be vastu oriented, so that you know, make more money in the home. Where do you keep your money should be in a vastu safe location in your house. Well, what the heck's the vastu of a liquor shop? They make money 24 hours a day, hand and foot. There is no vastu. It's a ticket to hell, a liquor shop. I mean, people are queuing up out of sight to buy the ticket. What to do? It's telling you it's Maya.
Advaita Prabhu asks, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu Purana and other Vaishnava literatures, Shravanam is considered as a primary anga of bhakti. Whereas in the Upanishads, we said Supreme Lord cannot be known just by hearing, Bhavanashrutena, but only if he wishes to reveal himself. So what's the chief difference between the two kinds of hearing?
Well, if it's Sabda Brahman, and you're hearing it, the Lord is revealing himself, it's descending. So the descending process, one has to hear in the descending process. That means from bona fide source, that means from bona fide representative. However, still without the idea is ultimately Krishna reveals himself. Nothing reveals Krishna. He is not forced by anything, but the secret is he is attracted to the love of his devotees. And that love is first shown in the fundamental stage is just doing some service for Krishna. It's you're sweeping the floor, and someone says, well, I don't really think I'm doing this out of love of God. But in the final analysis, well, what are you doing it for? You know? If you're thinking you're going to get money by sweeping this floor, well, then you submit to nāma and work under nāma, and then you'll get paid something. So it's all about positioning and adjustment. Religion means proper adjustment. But even hearing from and doing everything perfect, I remember hearing some story like this. Gorkashordas Babaji had picked up his beads for 3 days. Or it might have been Vamsidas, or it was like Gorkashore or Jagannath or Vamsidas. Had picked up his beads for 3 days and chanted non-stop for 3 days. And in the end of the 3 days lamented that Krishna did not manifest in the name, that I could not chant the name properly. So it's all up to the sweet will of Krishna. We simply, what is the saying? Man, what is that? God proposes, man proposes.
God disposes.
So our prayers, oh my Lord Krishna, all I want is you. And Krishna says, well, just wait a moment. But he lives in infinity. So you may wait some time. This isn't like, okay, I'm ready, give it to me. Okay, here, I'm so happy to just supply you. No. There are a lot of people in this world, a lot of devotees, a lot of universes, a lot. And he's very busy in the spiritual world too. So who do we think we are? That we're so bloody important down here in this speck of dirt called Earth. That just because we want, God should be right there. No, he is always right there. But the understanding is that it is not solely our endeavor. We show our endeavor. We fold our hands. We bow our head. We try to show our humblest endeavor and sincerity. But ultimately, it's up to him. We can't go, hey, weren't you watching? I mean, I was humble yesterday. You know? What's happening here? It's not in the contract. God says, read the fine print. Yeah, right. Just because you join, you don't become the boss. This is where you rise up and then have a coup and throw out the guy who, like Putin and Yeltsin, you know. He rose up because of Yeltsin, and then he went against everything Yeltsin did. It's all a scam. Well, people in India, in the Mayavadi ashrams, Hindu ashrams, unfortunately some so-called Vaiṣṇava ashrams, it seems like disciples get that idea what they're going to do when the guru is gone, how they want to take over, and sometimes they even kill the guru. That happens. The Swami B.G or whatever, just to get his properties.
Cement Narayan.
Yeah. Like Cement Narayan. In Kerala, there's a Swami, he called himself Swami Narayan. And they built cement statues of him and put him in glass houses all along the national highway in Kerala. So the upper class people call him Cement Narayan. Because all the deities, so-called statues. And then it's glass, and it's heating up in there under the glass. So I just figure, yes, he is present in his deity. God has probably locked him in there, and he's just cooking like a potato, you know, in a pot of boiling water. So, but he had predicted his death, they say. And the day came, and the night passed, and the morning was coming, and he hadn't died yet, so they stuck a plastic bag in his mouth until he choked to death. And then they pulled out the bag and announced to the... Because if he didn't die, it was going to, like, thousands of people would gather at the ashram. Guruji's announced his death. But he's not leaving, right? So the disciples like, yes, he's gone. And that's the fame. Yes, he announced his death, you know. Stupid stuff for people.
Another question from Adbhuta. What's the idea behind having both congregational chanting, Kīrtana, and japa for beginners like me? If Kīrtana is considered more fruitful, and if japa is considered an activity of those in the higher stage of devotion?
Well, by this time, Adbhuta, you're not supposed to be a beginner. Beginners don't write books. Appreciate your humility, but let's not confuse, you know. The idea, I point this out a lot of times, the idea to have children chanting 64 rounds a day or, oh yeah, there was, you know. And this type of thing, it's like, japa is an advanced stage of chanting the holy name. But in japa, it's just you, the beads, the sense of touch, and the holy name. But in Kīrtana, I'm yelling it in your ear, Haribol! And therefore, your mind doesn't wander as easily in Kīrtana as it does in japa. Understand, in japa you got this, and this, and your mind is going, yeah, right. What were you saying, Hari? What? But in Kīrtana, somebody's right there with the kartals and the drum and the holy name and the loudspeakers are on. Hear me now, Hare Krishna, you know. So it's true. In Kīrtana, the mind is more easily roped in to the holy name. And everyone is shouting. But in japa, it's just you, the holy name, and your mind can pull away each other's thoughts. Your mind can wander more easily. Now think about it. Now, if you're really distracted, nothing can pull your mind back in. Go take a cold shower, you know. But in most cases, you'll see that when the holy name is being chanted, and you see people smiling, they're really happy. You know, it's not very often you come by someone's just like, so happy chanting japa, really. They're like, oh God, I'm so fallen, Hare Krishna. You know? And that's good. That's good. Go bring it in.